Continental Free Trade Agreement came into effect on Thursday. It is expected to progressively eliminate tariffs on intra-African trade and create a single African market of more than 1 billion consumers. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement was launched in Kigali, Rwanda's capital, in March last year. It aims to create a tariff-free continent that can grow local businesses, boost intra-African trade, spur industrialization, and create more jobs. And so far, the pact has been signed by 52 members of the African Union, with the exception of Nigeria, Eritrea, and the Republic of Benin. If all 55 AU members join, it will become the world's largest free trade zone by numbers of countries, and it would cover more than 1 billion people with a combined gross domestic product of $2.5 trillion.
The African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which will progressively eliminate tariffs on intra-African trade and create a single African market of over 1 billion consumers, has come into effect. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement aspires to create a tariff-free continent that can grow local businesses, boost intra-African trade, spur industrialization, and create more jobs.
At the moment, until this thing happened, Africa was fragmented. You had regional trading blocks in West Africa, for example, in ECOWAS. You had regional trading blocks in East Africa, the East African Community, EAC. You have another one in Southern Africa, in SADC. So you have this spaghetti maze of very fragmented, relatively small trading blocks, which made it difficult to trade amongst Africans and for international investors to freely trade and do business in Africa.
The agreement will gradually eliminate 90% of tariffs on intra-African trade, making it easier for African businesses to trade within the continent and benefit from the growing African market, said the African Union.
For goods that are produced in Africa, they will be traded duty-free within Africa. So for companies that are coming outside Africa, they need to establish companies within Africa for them to enjoy that duty-free status.
China has been Africa's largest trading partner for 10 consecutive years, with an accumulated investment of over $110 billion in the continent. Positive results have been achieved in the joint construction of Belt and Road projects in recent years as well. China has signed memorandums of understanding with 39 African countries and the AU Commission. Cooperation with China has substantially advanced Africa's economic and social development.
We look to China as a very important partner for Africa, be it on the issue of development assistance, be it a trade partner, and so on. Africa pursues free trade globally and promotes those values globally, and believes that we're looking for an African fair share of international trade. And what we see from the Chinese practices and so on is in conformity with those international standards.
After its implementation, the African Free Trade Accord is also projected to boost intra-Africa trade by more than 52% by the year 2020, according to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa.
You are watching ANN.
Dear Mommy, you went out that